Hey everyone, we'll be starting momentarily. Please bear with me as I get everything set up. Okay, that's all done. All right, that's all good. Connection seems to be fine. Showing up on there and there. Let me check the other thing quick. Showing up on there and there. Let me. Yep. All right, I think we are good to go. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream, and the first for this week. Today we are going to be continuing with Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, the DLC case for Dual Destinies. We are currently in the middle of doing our first trial after having investigated the scene, finding pearls and a penguin and a rapper and a pirate girl and Amelia Earhart. Essentially, we met a lot with everyone that was here so far. We are going through the trial to find out what we can get done with that and see if we can find out what really happened that day and start the investigation for real. Because everyone thinks that it was the Orca, so we're trying to get that sorted. And yeah, we're going to see how that goes. Before we start proper, though, I want to point out, or I want to say that we are actually streaming on two places today. As you all know, I was streaming on Twitch for a while. Like I was doing it the year before, and then I had to stop because they had changed their stuff to the TOS, which didn't allow you to simulcast. So I just stopped streaming on Twitch. I recently found out that they changed that again. They've made it so then you can now stream on multiple places, regardless of what you are, unless you do an exclusivity contract or something. But you cannot have merged chats showing up on stream. So I'm testing things out. I'm seeing how we're going to go. For the Twitch people, hi, it's been a while. Hope everyone's been doing well. But it will be a bit weird because I've already been doing this and I've done a lot of stuff since the last time I streamed. I checked out my streams that I have on Twitch. The last time I streamed on Twitch was when I played Resident Evil 4, and that was at part 5. Anything after that, I just stopped because that was the moment when they changed the TOS. Again, because they changed it now, I can try it. I'm testing it out, seeing if things are going to be fine. If people like it, I'll keep going with it again. And we can see how that goes. So it's going to be a bit weird because I have been playing through this a while. I've already done the original trilogy. I'm halfway through the second trilogy, which is Apollo Justice's one. We are in the second game, like I said. And then when we finish with this, we're going to be moving on to the third game and then finishing it. But then hopefully after this, we'll start like getting into like proper streams and all that kind of stuff. But we shall see. Anyway, we're going to see how things go today. So let us begin and see what we can do. So game stream. I have to remember to hide my chats now. Okay. So just a heads up, I haven't changed any settings for Twitch, so if there's any errors, I'll need to go fix that. So just, let me know if anything comes up that I might be able to try and fix. Or check to see if I can. Yes, I know it was made by Capcom. Alright. Sensor picked up, showing from there. Fresh. There it is. Right, load game. Turnabout reclaim. Yes. Also, for the people watching on Twitch that haven't watched my other ones, I am doing voices for these things, so just be aware of that. Right, I mean, I'm voicing them at least. Whether it's good or not, that's a whole different thing. July 21st, 9:21 a.m. District Court Defendant Nobby number 3. I have to try and recall what I was doing now. For everyone. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I see. I'm just thankful we actually got to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. And I just splashed my face with some water to get that sleep out of my eyes. I did that. I actually did that. Oh, I also queued the Swashbuckler video so we can watch it anytime. Swashbuckler video added to the court record. Recording of a performance featuring Orla, Sasha, and Jack Shipley as the pirates. Got it. Thanks. Just keeps help. It might just help our cause. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this? I combined late last night, but there's no last night. What? Me? No, I just woke up early. That's all. Guess I need to cover them up. I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackwell. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while. Hee hee. That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing. That was a compliment, right? Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. I have to speak. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Rhymes, you came to watch the trial? Yeah, Sasha is back in the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I'd better come here to watch for her. Don't worry, we're going to win for sure. I don't even think it's been 10 minutes yet. We're going to win for sure. Isn't that right, boss? Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. July 21st, 9:30 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. This isn't the one that got blown up, I think. It's 5. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Orla Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must be waste words on this. What's a bit of Simon Blackwell? Known as the Twisted Samurai, he's a prosecutor who is also a convicted villain. They say he'd never conduct a trial without his loyal hawk Taka by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. Thank you, Mr. Your Honor. Mr. Your Honor, and he said, and you look as young as ever yourself. Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Surely, gesture boldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant Orla Shipley is an orca in ship-shaped aquarium. An orca? Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review. But an orca as a defendant is patently absurd. Comments to defense. He's the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I'll carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? We are to proceed. We must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted in black or white. Well, she's an orca, so both. Take Taka, for example. He is a human spirit as you or I. I don't need to make the noise, he did it for me. The real question is, am I in for more pain or as always? Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. Now then, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would. I suppose I can hardly leave to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well, listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Ship Aquarium in the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as it died. Sadistic orca, what a chilling thought. Dude, have you not seen anything from the ocean? They all are pretty sadistic, even dolphins. And where exactly is the defendant now? Inside this. Flip phone? A cell phone, Prosecutor Blackwell. Time watches on your boldness, with or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca. Dude, why don't you just have a big screen and have a video call going? Why'd you have to have a tiny phone for it? A TV phone? Very well. The court accepts it into evidence. TV phone added to the court record. It's used by Ship Aquarium staff. Oh, okay. Next to TVs and can be used to conduct teleconferencing. What? What? Whatever. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. I guess they will. Ooh, bright. Prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell! That's an old TV, jeez. We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Ah, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on? Oh, I wish Phoenix and Athena luck. Ish. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? And this adorable creature suspected of killing a man. Ola's really pouring on the charm, huh? She is far from cute. She is a violent, reckless animal. That's right! The name Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced on over to the Ship Aquarium. There, we found a guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there, therefore, no one else could have committed the crime. It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report right here. Blunt force trauma all over the body. Oh, God. Can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. But attack it did. Prepare yourself for the grisly details, your boldness. The prosecution moves to introduce our witness, Fulbright. You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell! In justice we trust! One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak, coming right up. I have to remember the voice I gave her. God, hoity-toity, kind of like, ooh. There we go. How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby. Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, I'm Norma de Plume, and I'm a non-fiction writer. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here? Unless she can read into people's words just as well as I can read into people's hearts. Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma de Plume? The great non-fiction writer Miss Norma de Plume herself? I've read all her works and enjoyed them immensely. Your Million Seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief, is one of my favorites. What an awful title, though. Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you an autograph if you'd like. Wait a second. I could swear you look much different in the photos in your book. Well, I used the ones from 10 years ago in my book, so that's the paparazzi won't harass me. She's basically catfishing people. The judge seems shocked. Visual disconnect must really be doing a number on His Honor's head. Let me get started, please. I find you to be lacking as a judge. You will see your debut in my books. Such harsh comments. You must really be the real Norma de Plume. Who knew Mr. Plume was so famous? No, jabbering. Tell the court what you saw and keep it brief. I would thank you not to order me around. I am perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder. Very well. Please proceed with your testimony. She has legs, but it's covered with a long coat. I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victims to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. That adorable defendant really did all that. It must be much more vicious than it looks. Judgment, so I may carry out the sentence.
Objection!
The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's all right. Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery?
Hold it!
The defense has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know, you son of a bitch! It's been 10 minutes, I can do it. Fellow inmate just told me this morning. If you want something signed, all you need is the document and a witness. Let me guess, they were convicted for contract fraud, right? All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that. Looks like I guessed right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of your thrashing around in vain. Dude, if you're going to keep poking yourself in the eye that hard, you're going to lose an eye. The moment of the murder.
Hold it!
Press on everything. Why did you want to see the orca? Well, it is the featured attraction of the aquarium, after all. Why waste energy on such tripe? There is but one attraction in Shipshape Aquarium that is worth anyone's time. And that is the penguins. Isn't that right, Tucker, my friend? Alrighty then. I guess Prosecutor Blackwell is for the birds. Yes, I should jot that down. Note to self, Prosecutor Blackwell is on Team Rifle. Oh, I got an achievement for pressing her on this, I guess. So you went to the orca in its tank? Yes, that's right.
Hold it!
The orca suddenly went crazy, did she? Yes, it took a look at me, and then all at once it started going berserk. Did you do anything to make her angry? I did nothing more than simply glare at it from the visitor's corridor. She glared at Waller. And that's what caused her to go berserk?
Objection!
The reason the defendant went mad is not the issue here. Only what she did when she entered that state. In any case, the killer whale began behaving wildly in front of my very eyes, and then... So you're saying you saw the very moment of the victim's death? This is exactly what I'm saying. Oh, it was simply dreadful. It was as frightening as losing one's manuscript just before a deadline. I suppose for a writer, that would be pretty terrifying. I witnessed the killer whale's horrific act, and I knew I had to do something, so...
Hold it!
Why were the police the first ones you contacted? I was afraid if I told the aquarium staff, they might try to cover it up. Of course, I immediately told the aquarium security after my call to the police. I believe I deserve a praise for my swift decision-making skills under pressure. Mr. Plume is the most assertive witness I've ever seen. We better do our best to make it look like the bugshot lawyers if we want to match their intensity. Her intensity. Mr. Plume, I praise your swift decision-making skills under pressure. That was more kiss-up than big shot. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect big shot from Mr. Wright. How fitting for a small fry to praise a big shot. How about cutting this small fry some slack for you big meanies? Why is he talking like that in his mind? The important thing here is, did she really see the moment of the murder? You're raring to go, aren't you, Mr. Wright? See it in your eyes and in your heart. I guess I really am a lawyer at heart. Time to show you evidence. I actually thought I would have the dummy in here because the dummy shows that it had bite marks in it to show that it bit it. Yet, the body doesn't have any bite marks. Contusion from head trauma, bruised all over body. Death thought to be a result of Orcan't attack.
Objection!
Yeah, because it's got blunt force trauma, not sharp trauma. Puncture wounds, I guess, would be the right word. It would seem that you are mistaken, Mr. Plume. I beg your pardon? The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be a result of Orcan't attack. The actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten. What? But I'm sure the victim was bitten. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind.
Objection!
Just as I suspected. You push behind Fulbright's back. Well, what did you expect? That he wouldn't play nice and share? But unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all of the evidence. The evidence I gave to you for safekeeping. Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright in Blackwell's book. Very well. Let's review the footage. What's this? The orca is biting the victim. No way! I mean, even if that's true, there's no wounds on the body to show that. I have to say, this appears to be very damning evidence. No, I can't believe all already bit him. And there is more. Look at this. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There appears to be strange bruise over the victim's right wrist. I will have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate the relevance of the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Look at the left side of the body. See the orca tooth marks in the victim's clothes. Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did in fact bite the victim. But that it doesn't go all the way through. Could you not see that? I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up towards the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma. Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. Then what explanation is there for what the witness saw? Did I not say in the beginning? The orca toyed with the victim mercilessly. My goodness. After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like any other predator toying with its prey. Mr. Wright, the heart of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear of Orla. So the defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackwood, do you have a sound theory to give to this court? I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white. But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. I nearly keep calling him Professor again. This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, world mistress. A word. Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim. Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the moment of the murder, was it? Now explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand. There you go again, ordering me around. Stop this, isn't it? Stop it! Stop! Well, whatever, I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim by headbutting him. Well, I killed the victim by headbutting him. That's impossible. Well, that's right. It ran the victim over and over again. Recall that the autopsy report stated there were bruises all over his body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey. And we all just saw the killer whale's head butting the victim in the footage, don't forget. That footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony. But there's also something very important it does not show. Now, do you see what a menace this killer whale is?
Objection!
I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim. Oh! What? I want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? What? Oh, well, I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view. You are admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. It came up from behind the skull-shaped rock and the body was all limp. What else could I think except that the killer whale was headbutting the victim?
Objection!
But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture.
Objection!
Must I do everything around here? How dare you speak so rudely to me? There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Though you couldn't see what the orca was attacking, you didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had only 1 year prior. Oh! 1 year ago? Oh, that's right. Yes, that's it. That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim. I'm sorry, but could someone explain exactly what happened a year ago? If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year in which the defendant murdered her trainer. What? The orca murdered her trainer, you say? What? Is that really true? This is not looking good for us. I mean, why would we not have been told about this beforehand, but whatever. The killer whale. Or the killer whale. Oh my god. It is all in this book. That book, The Killer Whale. That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. It's about the case from last year. Orca kills its trainer. Bite marks on the sword. None on the body. Last year, the defendant killed a trainer in the middle of a show. Orca headbutted and bit the victim. Damn it! Why is it always the hot one that dies? The same thing that she's accused of in this case. Why wasn't it brought to court in that case? Orca killed a woman. Oh, it's a guilty man. It's guilty. Guilty, I say. I never want to go to the beach again. No. Now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it. We were doing so well, but now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. I don't want to think she did it. But it's hard to keep on believing in somebody who can't even tell me her side. Phoenix, Athena, you gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her. Please, I'm begging you. Sasha. What am I doing down on my client like this? This is the time to be strong. I'm gonna bench press Black Will. Ugh. I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll take everybody in this courtroom on if I have to. Come on! Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end. Thank you, both of you. Slap, slap. We are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now. We're an instant beg. We're afraid of the Orca. Weren't you right, Dono? No, we just were doubting if it was true or not. When you saw the photograph of the victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me. You saw right through me. It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend the Orca. It's true that Orla can't speak. I don't know her thoughts. But there's a certain someone who believes in Orla with all of her heart. I respect the trust she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too. And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. So allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they are cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales. So killer whales really are killers. What terrifying creatures indeed. Wow, way to be prejudiced against their names and what they actually need to do to survive. I mean, look at sharks. They're called sharks, but they're not called killer sharks. They're just called sharks. And people fear them just because they eat things. I can't bear to hear any more such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your boldness? No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know. Don't know when to give up, do you? Very well, I should give you a chance to prove just how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter, and lay the full truth on them. But of course, that is what I do after all. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? I will have her testify about what she saw and what she heard. What she heard? Very well. Mr. Plume, please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. Hey, Rapatron. Welcome. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it start to headbutt, but then the pirate hat and the victim came floating up. I let out a scream. So the orca displayed the same behaviors during the incident a year ago. Pip, popping in and out. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you could make it anyway. That's right. Those weren't just simple cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang the swashbuckler spectacular song. That's right, it was singing the same song it sang in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing while it was headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible. I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. It's clear I won't be able to take apart her statements with evidence alone. Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do. You seem pretty confident. Let me guess, you notice a contradiction between the testimony and her emotions? You bet I did, and once we expose her, we just might be able to crack her, like an egg, permanently, forever. No, scratch that. Make it, we'll definitely be able to. Then let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try. You got it, boss. Complete analysis of Mr. Plume's heart. Coming right up. Beep. I can skip this? Hello, behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw him started to headbutt. When the pirate hat and victim came floating up, I let out a scream.
Got it!
Why is she so sad here before anything happened? Mr. Plume, Ola really frightened you with her headbutting, didn't she? Don't be absurd. I certainly was not frightened by the likes of any killer whale. It must have been something else that scared her then, boss. However, I do remember being very afraid for some reason while I was doing that. It sounds like maybe you saw something we haven't discussed yet. Take your time and try to remember what it was. What did you see? This is practically turning into a counseling session. I saw something. Oh! Ah! I remember now! Woo! Okay, good. Now if you could please tell us the court what you saw. I saw bright red blood. The killer whale's head ramming caused the victim to bleed. There was a great cloud of blood. What? Yes, that's it. That's why I was so sure. That's when I knew the killer whale had killed a person for a second time. Well, that was a compelling statement indeed. Looking at this again, there does appear to be something that could be a cloud of blood. So her terror was a reaction to blood, was it? That would certainly explain what happened yesterday. Please take a look at this bloodstained coin. Cease and desist at once. What kind of man shows a lady blood? Doesn't have to get so worked up. I was badly injured during an interview once. Ever since then, I've been terrified of blood. The very sight of that dreadfully incepts me in my delicate sensibilities. This is a bad turn. Mr. Plume saw blood. Does that mean Ola really did attack the victim? It would appear that orcas are even more vicious than I am. No, excuse me. So, how does it feel to be thoroughly rammed by your cross-examination, McDonald? What do we do now, boss? Testimony was not at all what I expected to hear. Let's continue anyway, because we've still got 50% left. Wait a minute. There's still some discord left in Mr. Plume's heart. What? You mean there's more? Yeah, but there's no telling what it is. It could be something even more damning. Is there even anything left of our case to damage? Well, whatever it is, we have to face it head on. Athena, you believe in Ola, right? If so, there's no reason for us to shy away from the truth. Yeah, you're right. I know we can handle the truth, whatever it is, so let's delve a little deeper. You got it, boss. Killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. Info updated. I can barely see that. After it started headbutting, I saw that awful blood and was terrified. But then the pirate hat and the victim came floating up and I let out a scream. I guess this would be more surprising.
Got it!
I could just go by one because nothing was really standing out to me. And it doesn't give me any negatives, so there's no point not to. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere.
Got it!
I guess being sad here? Huh? A fear appears to lessen here at this statement. Mr. Plume, weren't you afraid when you saw the victim with the blood coming out of him? My, that's a very good question. I was shaken after witnessing a murder, yes, but then the blood seemed to disappear. Disappear? And why would you suppose that was? Simple, it was because of the pirate hat. After the killer whale put the hat on, the cloud of blood disappeared.
Objection!
And how exactly does that work? How should I know? I was just telling you what I remember, Blue Boy. Wait a minute. From who was the blood that Mr. Plume saw actually coming from? Well, if it landed on her, I would assume that means that the blood is hers.
Take that!
Consider this. Maybe the one who was bleeding wasn't the victim. I beg your pardon. What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? There was no one else in that pool besides the victim. Oh, I wouldn't say that there was no one else. It is an orca pool, after all. What? Then there was an alleged injury on the defendant. I'm not sure, but if simply wearing the pirate hat made the blood disappear, then the blood must have been coming from somewhere on the victim's head. Or the Orla's head. What? The orca's head. What are you prattling on about now? Please think about it again, Mr. Plume. Think back to what you really saw. That is... The one who was bleeding was not the victim, but the killer whale. I remember now. There wasn't any blood coming from the victim after all. Yeah! Psychology works! Bye-bye. We did it! Analytical psychology got us what we needed. That was a huge help, Athena. It was also pretty dicey for a while, though. Well, this is a surprise. The blood the witness saw was the defendant's, not the victim's. That is correct. And since there was no blood coming from the victim, there's only one thing we can conclude. That what Mr. Plume witnessed was not the moment of the murder, as she claims.
Objection!
I thought you were unarmed, but it turns out you were concealing a sword all along. I have more than one sword! Ah! Nevertheless, it is far too dull to cut to the bone. Meaning? I grant that what the witness saw was not the victim's blood, but it proves nothing. After all, being rabbed doesn't always result in a wound that bleeds, does it? Death from internal hemorrhaging is also a possibility. He has a point there. If you wish to challenge me to a duel, you would need a sharper blade than that, right, Dodo? I demand evidence that proves the witness did not see the moment of the murder. There must be something. Think, Phoenix. If I'm correct, and the victim's death occurred before, the victim was already dead when Orla started her headbutting, then that would mean he died sometime before Mr. Plume was watching her. The events of Mr. Plume, that Mr. Plume witnessed took place around 10:10 a.m. I must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m. I mean, this is the only thing that has anything that's around 10.
Take that!
This is the evidence that proves Mr. Plume did not see the moment of murder. Huh? I'm not sure that's really related to what Mr. Plume did or didn't witness. But you're not sure, right? No, we can be quite sure it's unrelated. Yes, quite. Ouch. I guess we can be. Witness took place around 10:10 a.m. Must have something that shows something that happened before then. 10:09 and 10. In the gold coins.
Take that!
I guess the coin was the answer. Not the answer. It was not the answer. Never mind. This is the only thing
Take
that
that!
makes sense. We've only seen the footage from 10:09 to 10:10, which means there's still footage going further back than what we need to check. Than what we checked. Your Honor, I request that all of the security footage be played for the court. All of the footage? Mr. Plume witnessed a cloud of blood at around 10:10 a.m., but I believe the victim was already dead by that time. So your assertion is that the murder took place before Mr. Plume arrived? Exactly. The security footage should start, or starts around 10 a.m. when the aquarium opened. And I believe this is the vital evidence for in 10 minutes before. You are quite the gambling man, right, Dono? Are you honestly willing to risk everything on those mere 10 minutes? I'd bet on a slimmer chances before, but when he puts it that way...
Hold it!
My boss is no coward, Prosecutor Blackwell, so I suggest you get ready to eat humble pie. Uh-oh. Can't back down now. Well, if the defense is that confident it's in importance, Prosecutor Blackwell, the security footage. Fulbright. Roger! I have the rest of the security footage right here! Very well, let's play it forward for the court. Please, please have something for me. This is what it looked like at 10 a.m., or 10:10 a.m. to be precise. The witness can be seen here. All right, I'll just back up the footage up to the point to the beginning and now. 10:09. 10:06. It appears Mr. Plume hadn't arrived at this point. Now to see if I can find something from before this point in time. Is that it? Yep, that's all the footage there is. Well, Mr. Wright, did you see what you were looking for? We got nothing. Well, right, Dono. Those were the 10 minutes you placed your bet on. Did you see anything of significance? Did I see anything important? I'd better think about this carefully. In the footage we see, nothing. We can see nothing of importance in that footage. Just as I thought. Ha ha ha! You're right about that! The section was completely meaningless. It doesn't show a thing. That's why I didn't submit it as evidence.
Objection!
That's not what I mean, though. No, it's just the opposite. Huh? What do you mean by that? In this 10-minute footage, something important that should be there isn't there. Detective Fulbright, this is the footage that should have been submitted as evidence. What? Are you questioning the way I carry out my duty to justice? Mr. Wright, explain yourself, please. What is the important thing that you say should be in the footage but isn't? Probably the body, but...
Take that!
The important thing that we should see in the footage is the victim himself, Jack Shipley. I don't know about you, but I didn't see him get in the pool in that footage. Oh! Ah! That's right! If the victim is not shown entering the pool in this footage, it means that he must have been there by the skull rock during those 10 minutes. But no human being can hold their breath underwater for that long. Oh, well, I mean, there can be. Wait a minute, are you saying... When the security camera started up at 10 a.m., the victim was already dead. What? Man, I love you, Fulbright. I miss you. Too bad you're an evil criminal. Order in the court. If that's the case, then what was the victim murdered? Or when was? Sorry. I don't know, Your Honor, but we know it had to have been sometime before 10 a.m. Therefore, this footage can no longer be called decisive evidence against my client. No, but there was no one else who could have killed the victim. Not necessarily. The defense believes that the true culprit may have been human. And we have evidence to back up our theory as well. I'm very interested in seeing this new evidence. The defense trump card. That thing we found during our investigation yesterday. I wouldn't go so far as to call it decisive, but now's the time to play it. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please submit your evidence. What evidence shows that the crime may have been committed by a human? Oh, it's going to play the whole thing? I didn't think it played the whole thing.
Take that!
What's this? A coin? If the water was cold enough that it could disguise the time of death, yeah. Yes, a fake coin used in the aquarium's pirate show. We found it beside the pool. This coin is quite possibly the real murder weapon. This tiny little coin is the murder weapon? Mr. Wright, if this is another one of your bluffs... as they say, the bolder the presentation, the less confident the solicitor. This is no bluff. This isn't the only coin. There are 300 of these coins in all, weighing a total about 7 pounds. This one just happens to have blood on it. Did you have the blood analyzed to see who it is? Not yet. But there were coins scattered all around the body and the victim had a head wound. Taking these things into account, I believe it has to be the victim's blood. So to put it together, we have about 7 pounds of coins by the side of the pool. One of them was a blood stain with a blood stain on it. I think the answer is pretty clear here. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the victim was killed beside the pool. The side of the pool? But if the murder took place, it wouldn't be difficult to say the Orca did it. I realize you are trying to defend your client, but that theory is preposterous. How could 300 coins possibly be made to hit someone all at once? Are you stupid? It'd be pretty easy if they were in a bag or something of that nature. And so, where is his bag the coins were in? Unfortunately, Your Honor, we recovered nothing of the sort near the scene. It's possible the culprit took it with them. They took it? The true culprit used the coins as a blunt instrument to commit murder. They then threw the body into the pool before the security cameras started up. And when they left, taking the bag the coins were in with them. They got rid of the evidence that points the human culprit to pin the blame on Orla. Dude, that was brilliant, Mr. Wright. You found a way to introduce the possibility of a human perpetrator. Yes, somehow. Let's hope my luck holds out. One of my prosecutor Blackwell hasn't said anything. The possibility of a perpetrator other than the defendant has now been suggested. But if we hold this possibility to be true, then what did Mr. Plume witness? Oh, that's right. I saw the killer whale attack the victim. Just like it did a year ago, singing a song. Huh. I guess there still is that. Even with somebody else as the culprit, Miss Orla's behavior seems still pretty bizarre. I wonder why she was doing the same thing as she did a year ago. But is it really that bizarre? What do you mean? To explain the inexplicable, all we have to do is turn our thinking around. Turn our thinking around, huh? Sounds good to me. Time to give the old turn my thinking around method a try. Instead of trying to figure out why Orla did the same things as she did a year ago, I should consider the results that were produced by her behavior this time around. Orla sang a song, did some headbutts, and bit the victim. If the real culprit wanted to shift the suspicion onto Orla, then they would have needed to give people a reason to think Orla did it in the first place. Mr. Wright, as our lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? I believe we should think of it this way, Your Honor. What kind of effect did Orla's actions have on the case? Very well, then why don't you explain for the court? How did the defendant's actions affect the case? Mr. Plume focused her attention on the orca pool because she heard the song. The orca's act of singing a song created a witness. Created a witness? Isn't it possible that fabricating a witness was the real culprit's true intention? After all, Mr. Plume witnessed two things. She saw Orla headbutting something over and over, and then she saw the victim bite, or the orca bite the victim, not the victim bite the orca. That'd be weird. Those two actions of Orla's might have been the real culprit's plot to make the witness think the orca was attacking the victim. Are you saying the defendant was being manipulated by the true perpetrator? Exactly. That would explain Orla's actions perfectly. But the defendant is an orca. Isn't it even possible to manipulate her? Orca meat, yes. Yes, there is a way to manipulate Orca's behavior with this. A whistle!
Take that!
Is this a whistle? Yes, Your Honor. The trainers at the aquarium use whistles to issue commands to Orla. But in truth, anyone can do it, provided they know the right signals. Ah, that must be how they got Orla to do tricks for their pirate show. The true culprit hid the body in a spot that couldn't be seen from the visitors' corridor. Then, when Mr. Plume appeared, they gave Orla the commands. In other words, Orla was manipulated by the culprit to perform a series of tricks. What? And as for you, Mr. Plume, you're a boo-boo head. You were manipulated by the true culprit to play the part of the witness. I, Nomada Plume, was set up. I, Nomada Plume, writer extraordinaire, was used. Don't get this close. No, 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 oh God. No, thank you. Mr. Plume, please do something about your attire. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. I had to deal with Twitch. Of course, the moment I go back to Twitch, I get like a bot coming in, be like, "Hey, you want to buy our services?" And I'm like, "No, reported, blocked." The judge is just staring into a soul. Yes, yes, he is. Sorry about that. That was one wardrobe malfunction I did not want to see. It would appear we shift our suspicion towards someone other than Orla. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have the feather-stained coin analyzed. You waste your breath. I guess even Prosecutor Blackwell can't refute the possibility of a human suspect. You did it, boss! If the crime happened beside the pool, there's no way an orc could have done it. Now, if only we could find the bag the coins were in. In light of the new discovery, it would appear that the orca couldn't have done it. Exactly, Your Honor. If the blood on the coin proves to be that of the victim, we can unequivocally overturn Orca's accusation.
Objection!
Oh, there goes the cuffs. Again. Overturn the defendant's accusation. I think not. My hair! My beautiful hair! Yesterday, a new inmate was brought into the prison. He said the moment you relax is when you're most vulnerable. And what did this man go in for? He is merely a sneaky thief who enjoys a spot of fishing now and again. But right on here would be easier to hook than any fish. That hawk sure does love the judge's head. What's this? The coin from before and some sort of bag? You already had it, man? That's withholding evidence. Bag? I don't think I'm gonna like this. This is the coin bag, the 300 coins were in. I believe you were looking for this. How did you get that? I never said we didn't find it at the crime scene. The bag had blood on it, so naturally I had it sent to the crime lab. And? Does the blood belong to the victim? It does indeed, as does the blood on the coin. I knew it, so the blood on the coin did belong to the victim. The bag was open and the coins had all spilled out. The bag alone wasn't proof enough to say that it was used as the murder weapon. It has blood on it. What else can you say it was used for? Oh yeah, someone tried to bite it and broke the tooth and they bled all over the bag. However, thanks to this defense and their coin, I am more than satisfied that it was. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you conceding that the true culprit who committed the murder was the bird with the bag of coins? I shall concede the victim was put to the pool until after his death. However, even with the bag, it doesn't change the fact it was the orca that killed the victim. She carried the coin all along, and she smashed him over the head with it. What? How can you still suspect Orla? You said that the true culprit manipulated Orla's behavior. But Orla isn't the kind of orca that would let someone control her. If anything, Orla used the victim's behavior against him to murder him. What? But... Are you arguing that the orca manipulated a human being? To prove it, I have summoned another witness. Marlon Rhymes. Take the stand. Marlon Rhymes is a witness? Well, don't just stand there. State your name. I told you I didn't want to be a witness. I thought one witness would be quite enough to prove the defendant's guilt. But apparently Right Donald won't be satisfied until every stone is turned. Well, son of a... Alright, fine. If I'm gonna talk, then it's gotta be... Let's get this over with. Mr. Rhymes doesn't seem like a willing witness. I wonder what Prosecutor Blackwell is gonna have him testify about. So could we have your name and occupation for the record, witness? Ahoy, yo, 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 ho, ho! People of the law, time to testify. Chilling with my crew at the ship shape. Orca Penguin and the Seascape. Feeding and feeding. There ain't no end. But them bratty kids' tours, I shall transcend. Rube Animal Keeper from the House of Rhymes. I'm the Master Keeper, Marlon with the rhymes. Oh my, I'm afraid I couldn't understand a word you said. How? literally speaking very slowly while singing. That is the flip-flop music. Flip-flop, yes. Music young people nowadays like. Oh, God, Judge. So close, Your Honor. So close. And yet so far. Please proceed with your testimony, witness, without the flip-flop. Oh, my God. Stop it, please. Okay, fine. But I don't want to do this, I tell you. I feel like I'm still in Sasha out. Why you still got the barrel with him? The man manipulated Orca. At around 10 a.m., I was in the staff room. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to the door to look in. I couldn't see the captain or the Orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. The Orca knows where there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with her. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there in the captain. So that gives us a little more info about the area around the Orca pool. The defendant made the stuff fall down. Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered all over the pool room floor. There is no doubt that it was the Orca that caused the mess. But could she really have done that from within the pool? As I said, the Orca is the only one that could have performed such a feat. The pool and its room were tidied that night before, including its various odds and ends. But when our rhyming Marlin took a look-see, over 400 pounds of props had fallen. To move it all in one go would have tried even the brawny prisoner in the cell next to mine. Challenge. What is he? The jail gossip? So, how did 400 pounds of items fall at once? I'll tell you how. The Orca stood out of the pool and pulled it. The Orca pulled the cloth that was underneath them. A weight that would all but be impossible for a human to move. It was child's play for an Orca. During a friendly game of volleyball, the defendant made the crates fall. And the bag of coins that was moving the items fell on the victim's head and killed him. The Orca then toyed with the victim's body underwater, which was what the Plume saw.
Objection!
But the witness only said he heard a loud noise. That doesn't automatically make it the sound of Orca making the items fall. Also, why did you only look in on the pool room anyway, Mr. Rhymes? That, of course, sometimes makes a loud noise to summon a trainer. But I'm still a newbie, so I don't have a security card to get into the pool room yet. So even if she tries to summon somebody, there isn't much I can do about it. I see. So the witness couldn't enter the crime scene.
Objection!
If Mr. Rhymes couldn't enter the room, then there's one last thing, at least one thing he can't be sure about. His statement that the Orca was playing volleyball is purely speculation.
Silence!
Whether the Orca was actually playing volleyball or not is not the issue. Traces of the Orca's saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. The important point is that the Orca is the only one that could have moved the items. Do orcas have saliva? I don't think they do. Let me check. But in order for one's mouth to water, it is necessary to have the salivary glands, which are located in the mouth and produce saliva. However, in is that cetaceans? The salivary glands are atrophied and are even non-existent. Here we go. Orca mouth study. They don't actually produce saliva like we do, so all the mouth slime is more like mucus from the throat. Okay, so it's like saliva, but it's not the same. So it's more like a what would you call it? Like a lining or something, I guess. Ugh. I have to discredit that statement somehow. If I don't, it'd mean that Orla was the culprit, even if the victim died beside the pool. The man manipulating Orca.
Hold it!
Are you sure about the time you were in the staff room? What? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty good with time. I've never been late to work once. If you're sure about the time, then there's something wrong with that statement. Better take another look through the court record. In a minute, Phoenix. Let me question everything else first. All right, please continue with your testimony, Mr. Rhymes. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to go to the door to look in.
Hold it!
You heard the noise all the way in the staff room? That's right. The Orca pool room and the staff room are pretty close together. Anyway, I heard the noise. So I went into the door of the pool room. But I don't have a security card, so all I could do was look through the door crack. What kind of noise did you hear? Want me to describe it? Oh, yes! Yo, word, I didn't just read it. The crash, boom, bowing down to relativity. Everything's fallen with sweet simplicity. This testimony, yo, it ain't got no fallacies. Fallacies, things that falling and breaking, was pure insanity. Now, what was it he said? Oh, yes, your word up for courtroom number 4. Okay, that's what he said. Kind of like that. Okay, but why the need to wrap it? Well, I didn't really get all of that, but in any case, I gather it was very loud noise. Very well. Please proceed with your... or please describe what you saw at the scene.
Hold it!
You couldn't see the victim? I was just looking through the door crack. I guess all that stuff was blocking my view. I did notice a whole bunch of coins scattered over the place, though. But at the time, I had no idea the captain was dead. Huh. Killed by gold coins. Ironic, isn't it? Perhaps the Orca wanted to be paid for her labor. Paid in coins raining from the skies. Coins raining from the skies makes it sound almost poetic. But the hard truth is that those coins were actually the murder weapon. We all deserve to be paid for our work, do we not? I shall have a fine meal tonight. If you find our client guilty, that is. Mr. Rhymes, do you have any theory on how the things got knocked down? Of course I do.
Hold it!
She used the ball and does a spike, right? We had a nice little demonstration of Orla's spike for ourselves just yesterday. If you stand on the marked floor, the Orca spikes the ball to you. Tucker is good at flying straight at his target as well. And I see plenty of targets right here in this room. Everybody's so busy protecting their head, they forgot about the trial. Including you. Tell them what the defendant caused to happen. Well, the Orca knows people stand in a certain spot for volleyball.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think she knocked down the items on purpose? I don't want to believe it myself, but that Orca's pretty smart. It'd be easy for her to pull the cloth and stuff on while she was playing volleyball. Orcas are really strong. One good pull and all those things would come crashing down. I guess maybe an Orca could be strong enough to make that much stuff fall. I've never seen an Orca play tug of war myself. Fact is, this one did. Traces of the Orca's saliva found on the cloth prove it. How long do you plan to walk tightrope on those shaky theories of yours? Wait until you see me do aerobatics or acrobatics. Moments like these are what I became a lawyer again for. I don't know why, but Mr. Rhymes is lying. I'm afraid I have to expose that secret he and Pearls were keeping to resolve this. Here you go. Whoops.
Objection!
You say you were in the staff room, but is that really true? Of Of course it's true. Why would I lie about things like that? Mr. Rhymes, have you ever seen this calendar before? Hey, that's... I see you recognize it. Yeah, that's the rifle calendar. It's a big hit at the Shapeship Aquarium gift shop. Thank you for shopping at Shipshape. Mr. Rhymes, please refrain from scattering fish around the witness stand. Don't worry your boldness. Taco will have them cleaned up in no time. Taco's hungry. I guess that bird comes in handy now and then. All right, Mr. Wright, we have all seen your cute souvenir. Now, if you wouldn't mind. No, Your Honor, this isn't my calendar. It was originally the witness's, but it came into the possession of a certain young lady. What? What? Mr. Rhymes, this young lady first met each other on the food prep room. After a mishap, their calendars got switched around. They ran into each other at 10 a.m. in the food prep room. So clearly the witness was not in the staff room. In other words, there's no way he could have heard the noise in the pool room upstairs. Arrgh! This is the first time I'm hearing about any calendar. That's because Mr. Rhymes and Pearls were keeping it a secret. You lied to me. This transgression will not go unpunished. Ah! So, Mr. Rhymes, did you hear the noise of the equipment falling after all, didn't you? Okay, I admit it. I didn't hear the noise in the Orca pool room myself. But somebody told me about it. Who told you about it? It was... Unless you tell the truth, Mr. Rhymes, I can't save Orla. And I'm sure you know how sad that would make Miss Buckler. I heard about it from Sasha. What? From Miss Buckler? But that doesn't make any sense. What is going on here? Now it's the trainer's own words that drive the Orca into a corner. How do you like being bitten by your own client, right, Dodo? Ugh, certainly did see this coming. What a perfect time. There was something I want to ask Miss Buckler about the Orca. The prosecution calls the trainer, Miss Sasha Buckler, to the stand. Yes, I suppose it would be a good idea to hear what the Orca's trainer has to say. I don't know what Sasha's going to say, but I'll just have to meet it head on, whatever it is. We will take a 20-minute recess while the witness is summoned. To be continued, or... Wow, okay. It's not even been an hour and a half yet. I think we can keep going, unless... I'm going to save again, because I wasn't even paying attention if I did it. Save complete. Okay. Fine to end? Really? I mean, I kind of want to continue, but if it's going to, like, go over time, I don't know. Because we've been going for... If I can get it up. An hour and 19 minutes. That does not seem like a long time. Depending on how long the next one is, I could continue. If it's more than an hour, like, then I probably won't. It will go over. Okay. I was kind of hoping it would have kept going and then we would have had it to be continued. Because this is a good cliffhanger, like, what did Sasha see, and why did she say that, and why didn't she say that to us? Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. We could stop there. It's a bit shorter than I'd like, but it's better to have it at a cliffhanger than to be like, whoa. Also, my throat is starting to get a bit raw. So, I'm going to stop there. Get me out the title screen now. All right, and that is where we will end it for today. It's a bit shorter than I'd like, but we'll probably have more for next time. So, thank you all for joining, everyone that came today. I hope everyone enjoyed, regardless of how short it is. As usual, like, follow, subscribe to the bell notification to know when our next stream. And if you like what I do, there's links to Patreon and tips below the video on Twitch or in the description on YouTube. And if you do become a patron, get your name added to the patron list here. Why is this? Go away. There we go. For the briefest of moments, the chat was there. I keep forgetting I need to turn that off. But yeah, the patrons thing here, where I give you a shout out at the end of every stream, and I thank you for the continued support, and I greatly appreciate you, like I do with Hiroru Okuni and the Swordmaster 37. So like I said, this was a test stream for both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. It seemed to have gone well, barring, the bots that showed up, but other than that, it was fine. Obviously no one showed up Twitch side, but that might be just because of the timing, or just because I haven't been streaming for a while. They probably might not have me have notifiers up for that or something. But yeah, that's where we'll end for today. I'll be back tomorrow streaming on both again. Tomorrow I'll be continuing with Metro Last Light, and we'll probably finish it tomorrow too. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So again, thank you all for joining. Y'all have a nice rest of the day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And if you want to join this instead, or see this instead, then join in on Thursday. We'll be continuing this. So until then, have a nice rest of the day, guys. Bye. Bye, Refertron. Bye, people from Twitch or YouTube. Bye-bye.